Welcome to part two of our interview with Mom. In part one, we discussed her journey from being a stay-at-home mom, so from originally being a pre-trade teacher to being a stay-at-home mom, going on the farm with her husband, going to the market, to going to college. And then now we're at the stage where we want to talk about what happened during her 3 years of college. So Mom, you started NICO in 1996. Alright, so at this stage you had 4 children. You were how old at this time?
Was it 41?
So you started NICO at 41. How did you end up now going to college? How was the family manned while you were away, and what role did you play throughout that time?
Well, my husband, I would say he agreed for me to go, and he stayed home with the children, 4 of them, and then I went to college. I was actually living on hall on the hostel, and then I would come home every weekend and go to the market, look about the children, comb hair, wash uniforms, clean shoes, and then I would go back over on a Sunday afternoon, and sometimes very early on Monday morning.
Yeah, I remember the early Monday morning ones. I remember the dog used to come with you. Remember Bruno?
Yes,
He
Bruno
used to follow you to the bus stop and come back home when
and
you
then
went on a
come
bus.
back. Yes.
Alright, so during this time, Mom, I wanted to talk about a special occasion, that the most memorable thing for me that happened while you were away at college was when we were evicted. Can you share a little about that story when you came home from college one weekend and we got evicted? Which year of college was this? And just give us some details on that.
Okay, it was my second year at college, and usually I would come home on a Friday evening, and then the Saturday morning we would do the usual work and all of that. But then this morning there came a knock on the door by a very fat man. He was a police officer, the blue scene one, and then we used to call him Digger. So he came and he knocked at the door. I think we were having devotion at the time when we were interrupted by him coming and knocking on the door and say we have to leave. By this time I'm not sure if there was a sign put up on the door or whatever, but he came and then he started the process of evicting us, right? So they took out our things, and of course they were not the best of things, because this is a time when we were moving from one place to the other, so the furniture, they were old, and some of them, most of them were not looking nice. The beds and all of that were like, they were not good at all, and the mattresses and everything was just not, yes, was just
I remember.
Yes, and then the good thing.
Hold on, Mom, before you continue. I remember the mattresses. It was 2 mattresses. We used to have them like on the floor, I think. Was it so one of them? But it was spring, and we used to spread the clothes on it.
Yes.
Like it was just the spring, and we used to spread lots and lots of old clothes on it.
And by the way, the two beds were in the same room, right? The 2 beds were in the same room, but like your bed, they were mostly old clothes, because the
just the spring and the old
right,
clothes, I remember.
And then now they took out everything and put them on the outside. Well, luckily there was, because we were not living on the front page of the district, it wasn't so bad because then persons could not able to see exactly the things, right?
But people came.
But people came
I
and
remember a crowd.
they were watching and seeing, you know, what was happening and seeing our things, and it caused a embarrassment. Right? It was something to talk about. And then the night came, and before that, I called two of my friends, Aunt Eva and Aunt Cynthia, and they came and they gave us 2 tarpaulins, and we actually, there was a willow tree in the yard, and we tied up the tarpaulins and the willow tree, and then my husband, he got some coconut boughs, some coconut trees were nearby, and he cut the boughs and he encircled the place where our things were, and then, you know, to enclose it, and we spent the night there.
Under the willow tree, under the tarpaulins.
Yes, and then the rain came down, and it seemed like the rain would have torn down the tarpaulins, right? But we watched you guys as you slept, right? And then the morning came, and it was, I had to go about again trying to get help and all of that. Right?
So this was the Saturday morning when they evicted us, and Sunday morning now, I remember you went on the road to try to see what you could work out.
Yes.
And what happened when you went on the road?
Well, when I went on the road, I went to the supermarket, right? That was out by Borough. And he saw how I looked sad, and he was asking me what happened, and I told him, and he said he didn't have anywhere but the old shop that was used for like car wash or something, that was behind an old theater. And then he said for the sake of the children he would give us the place and he wouldn't really charge us. So I was so happy because that was the only alternative we had.
So we got the whole shop for the sake of the kids.
Yes.
That was a Saturday.
No, that was a Sunday. So we actually moved in the Sunday night.
And this shop now, Mom, describe this shop that we lived in, this shop that we got to move into.
Yes, this shop that we got, like I said, it was used as a car wash. So it's a very old building, and that was where we went. Like the zinc, it was full of holes, and like it was very dark, right? And the flooring was like concrete but not properly done, and there was a door. There was one door to the building, right? And that was where we went for the night, Sunday night. And then we make up the bed still with the old clothes and all of this and so forth. And then, like, I'm not sure if it rained again, but it's like being at that place when it seemed like we would have had rain. We have to set all the utensils and whatever we had.
All the plates, all the dishes, all the
the
cups,
dishes,
all the pots, all the pans, bath pans, everything.
Everything.
Because everywhere leaked.
Yes.
But Mom, to wrap up this part of the interview though, that weekend, so the Saturday we got evicted, the Sunday we got that place and we moved to that little old shop. And come that Sunday evening, you had to go back to Michael, or the Monday morning.
I couldn't go back the Sunday because we had to move and then had to still prepare for school. So it was the Monday morning when I got ready to go back now to Michael. So there was this bus, we call it Gleaner, and it came through about 3 a.m. So that was the bus I took to get back into Michael.
Alright, so we're gonna pause our story for today. I am hoping that we get to get more interviews done and get more of the story out. But that's it for today because I have to go to work. So thank you for watching. See you in part 3, hopefully.